The rain fell hard on Seoul that Monday morning. Janelle Carter ran through the streets. Her heels clicked against the wet pavement as she checked her phone again. 7:52 a.m. She was going to be late. Again. She dropped Mia at the daycare center on the second floor of the building. A privilege she had fought hard to get. Most secretaries did not get daycare access. But Janelle was not most secretaries. She had worked at Kong Corporation for 2 years now. 2 years of proving herself. 2 years of being looked down upon. The elevator doors opened to the executive floor. Look who decided to show up, a sharp voice cut through the air. Soo-Jin, senior secretary. The woman who had made Janelle's life difficult since day one. Traffic was bad because of the rain, Janelle said, keeping her voice steady. Traffic is always bad, Janelle. You would be on time like the rest of us. The other secretaries laughed. Soft, cruel laughs. Janelle said nothing. She walked to her desk and sat down. She had learned long ago that responding to Soo-Jin only made things worse. Her phone buzzed. A message from Mia's daycare. Mia is asking for her stuffed bear. Did you forget it? Janelle closed her eyes. Yes, she had forgotten it. In the rush to leave their small apartment, she had left the bear on Mia's bed. Janelle. She looked up. Director Choi was walking toward her, papers in hand. The CEO is arriving in 20 minutes. We just got word. He has been in Japan for 3 months, but he is coming back today. Everything must be perfect. The CEO. Min-hyuk. Janelle had never met him. In her 2 years at the company, he had always been traveling. Running the international branches. Expanding the empire his father had built. But she knew his reputation. Cold. Ruthless. Brilliant. Women threw themselves at him constantly. He ignored them all. There were rumors that he had never dated anyone. That his heart was made of ice. Janelle, are you listening? She snapped back to attention. Yes, Director Choi. Good. You will be serving coffee to the executive meeting. Do not embarrass us. 20 minutes later, she stood outside the executive conference room, a tray of coffee in her hands. Her heart was beating fast. She did not know why. She had served coffee hundreds of times. But something felt different today. The doors opened. Min-hyuk walked in. Janelle's breath caught in her throat. He was tall, broad-shouldered. His black suit fit him perfectly. His jaw was sharp, his eyes dark and intense. There was power in every step he took. But it was not his looks that made her freeze. It was the way he scanned the room. The way his eyes moved over every person, assessing them in seconds. Like he could see straight through to their souls. His eyes landed on her. For a moment, neither of them moved. Something Janelle could not explain. A recognition. A pull. Like they had met before, in another life. Then the moment broke. Min-hyuk looked away and took his seat at the head of the table. Janelle's hands trembled slightly as she began serving coffee. She went around the table, placing cups in front of each executive. Her movements were practiced, efficient. When she reached Min-hyuk, her hand shook. Coffee spilled. Not much. Just a few drops on the polished table. But it was enough. I am so sorry, Janelle said quickly, grabbing a napkin to clean the spill. Unacceptable, Director Choi hissed. CEO Park, I apologize for this. She is new. I have been here 2 years, Janelle said before she could stop herself. The room went silent. Director Choi's face turned red. Janelle. But Min-hyuk raised his hand, silencing him. 2 years, he said. His voice was deep. Smooth. Cold. And in 2 years, no one has taught you not to speak out of turn? Janelle met his eyes. She should look away. She should apologize again. She should do what every other secretary would do. But something inside her refused to back down. With respect, sir, I was correcting false information. I believe accuracy is important in business. The executives held their breath. Then something flickered in Min-hyuk's eyes. Something that looked almost like amusement. Leave us, he said to Janelle. And tell Director Choi to send me your personnel file. Janelle bowed and left the room. Her heart was pounding so hard she could hear it in her ears. She had just talked back to the CEO. She was going to be fired. 2 hours later, she was called to Director Choi's office. Pack your things, he said coldly. Janelle's heart sank. She thought of Mia, of their small apartment, of the bills piling up on her kitchen table. I understand, she said quietly. From your desk, Director Choi continued, his jaw tight with anger. You are being moved. CEO Park has requested you as his personal secretary. What? Do not ask me why. I do not understand it either. An American woman with a child, no connections, no family background, but he specifically requested you. Janelle could not believe what she was hearing. Report to the executive floor tomorrow at 7 a.m. Do not be late. And Janelle. Director Choi leaned forward. Do not think this makes you special. Women have tried to get close to CEO Min before. They all failed. He will use you for a few weeks and then throw you away. That is what he does. That night, Janelle sat in her tiny apartment. Her daughter was curled up with her stuffed bear. Janelle had gone home during lunch to get it. She had made it back just in time. She thought about Director Choi's words. Women had tried to get close to Min Hyuk before. But Janelle was not trying to get close to anyone. She was trying to survive. To give her daughter a good life. To prove that a single mother from Chicago could make it in Seoul. She had come here 3 years ago with nothing but Mia and 2 suitcases. Mia's father had left them before Mia was even born. Janelle had no family. No support system. She had been desperate for a fresh start. Seoul had seemed like the perfect place. Far away from everyone who had ever looked down on her. A new beginning. But it had not been easy. The language barrier. The cultural differences. The way people stared at her and Mia on the subway. And the loneliness. Sometimes, late at night, Janelle wondered if she had made a mistake. If she should have stayed in Chicago, where at least people looked like her. But then she would look at Mia, and she would remember why she had left. She wanted better. And she would do anything to get it. The next day, Janelle arrived at the executive floor at 6:45 a.m. She was not going to be late. Not today. The executive secretary desk was outside Min Hyuk's office. It was large and elegant, nothing like her old cramped workspace. So it is true. Janelle turned. Sujin was standing behind her, arms crossed. The single mother with the attitude problem is now the CEO's personal secretary. Sujin laughed, but there was no humor in it. Do you know how long I have worked here? 8 years. And you walk in and take the position I deserved. I did not ask for this position, Janelle said calmly. No, you just threw yourself at him. I saw the way you looked at him yesterday. I spilled coffee on his table. Please. Sujin stepped closer. I know your type. But let me tell you something. CEO Min does not keep secretaries long. The longest anyone has lasted is 3 weeks. And they were all Korean, all qualified. Janelle took a deep breath. Thank you for the warning. Now if you will excuse me, I have work to do. Sujin stood there for a moment longer, then walked away, heels clicking sharply. At exactly 8 a.m., Min Hyuk's door opened. Miss Carter. Come in. Janelle grabbed her notebook and walked into his office. It was enormous. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the Seoul skyline. Everything was modern, sleek, expensive. Min Hyuk sat behind his desk, watching her with those unreadable eyes. Sit. She sat. I have read your file, he said. You graduated top of your class at Northwestern University. You speak 3 languages. You were a rising star at a consulting firm in Chicago before you moved here. And now you are a secretary. Janelle kept her face neutral. Things change. They do. He leaned back in his chair. Your file also says you have a daughter. For years old. No father listed. Janelle's hands tightened on her notebook. That is correct. You moved to Seoul 3 years ago. Alone. With an infant. His eyes narrowed. Why Seoul? I wanted a fresh start. There are many places to start fresh. Why here specifically? Janelle hesitated. The real answer was complicated. The real answer involved a story she had never told anyone. Seoul seemed like the right choice at the time. Min Hyuk studied her for a long moment. Then he opened a drawer in his desk and pulled out a photograph. He slid it across the desk toward her. Janelle looked at the photo. And her heart stopped. It was a picture of her. Holding Mia. In the hospital, the day Mia was born. But that was impossible. She had never shown this photo to anyone. She had taken it herself on her phone in a moment of exhausted joy. How did Min-hyuk have it? Where did you get this? She whispered. Min-hyuk's expression did not change. My mother took that photo. She was in the hospital room next to yours. She heard you crying. She came to check on you. Janelle remembered that night. She had been alone, terrified, holding her newborn daughter. A Korean woman had come into her room. An older woman with kind eyes. She had held Janelle's hand. She had told her everything would be okay. And she had taken a photo. She wanted to remember you, Min-hyuk continued. The brave American woman who was all alone but refused to give up. She talked about you often. She said she wished she could find you again. Janelle's eyes filled with tears. Your mother, is she? She passed away 6 months ago. Cancer. Min-hyuk's voice remained steady. Before she died, she asked me to find you. To help you. That is why you brought me here, Janelle said slowly. Not because of what I said in the meeting. Because of your mother. Yes. My mother was a good woman. Better than I will ever be. She spent her whole life helping others. And in her final days, she kept talking about the American woman in the hospital. The air between them felt heavy with unspoken things. Why did you not tell me this from the beginning? Janelle asked. Because I needed to see what kind of person you were first. My mother had a habit of trusting the wrong people. I needed to make sure you were not one of them. And? What did you decide? Min-hyuk sat down. I decided you are formidable. Stubborn. Proud. My mother would have liked you. Janelle wiped her tears. So what now? You give me this job out of charity? I do not want that. It is not charity. You earned this position. Your qualifications are excellent. Your work record is impeccable. The only reason you were not promoted before was because Director Choi does not like American women. Janelle's eyes widened. How do you know that? I know everything that happens in my company, Miss Carter. Including the way Soo-jin has been making your life difficult for 2 years. You knew about that? I know about everything. He picked up some papers. Now, we have work to do. The shareholder meeting is in 2 weeks. I need reports prepared, presentations reviewed, and schedules coordinated. Can you handle that? Janelle straightened her shoulders. Yes. Good. And Miss Carter. He looked at her with those dark, intense eyes. My mother believed in you. Do not make me regret believing in her. The next 2 weeks were the most challenging of Janelle's life. Min-hyuk was demanding. Precise. He expected perfection in everything. He worked 16-hour days and expected the same from her. But he was also fair. When she did good work, he acknowledged it. When she made mistakes, he corrected her without cruelty. He never raised his voice. And slowly, something began to change between them. It was 11 o'clock on a Thursday night. The shareholder meeting was 3 days away. Janelle was reviewing the final presentation when Min-hyuk walked out of his office. You are still here, he said. So are you. I am the CEO. I am supposed to be here. And I am your secretary. I am supposed to be here too. He almost smiled. Almost. Your daughter. Who is watching her? Mrs. Kim from downstairs. She helps me sometimes. Min-hyuk frowned. You pay her? Of course I pay her. I do not take things for free. He was quiet for a moment. Then he sat down in the chair across from her desk. Tell me about your daughter. Janelle looked up surprised. Why? Because I want to know. Her name is Mia. She is 4 years old. She loves dinosaurs and hates vegetables. She asks a million questions a day and never runs out of energy. Janelle smiled. She is the best thing that ever happened to me. Her father. The smile faded. He left before she was born. He said he was not ready to be a father. I have not seen him since. He was a fool. Janelle looked at Min-hyuk, startled by the anger in his voice. A man who leaves his child is not a man, he said coldly. He is nothing. You sound like you speak from experience. Min-hyuk's jaw tightened. My father was similar. He was here physically, but never emotionally. He cared only about the company. My mother raised me alone, even though she was married. I am sorry. Do not be. It made me who I am. He stood up. Go home, Miss Carter. Your daughter needs you. The presentation can wait until morning. But that is an order. As she walked to the elevator, she felt something warm spreading in her chest. For the first time in a long time, someone had cared about her. Someone had asked about her daughter. Someone had told her to go home. She told herself not to read too much into it. But as she rode the subway home, she could not stop thinking about Min-hyuk's eyes. Dark, intense, and hiding something that looked almost like loneliness. The shareholder meeting was held at the Kang Corporation Grand Hotel. Janelle had never seen so much wealth in one room. Diamonds sparkled. Designer suits rustled. The air smelled of expensive perfume and money. She stood in the back, watching Min-hyuk address the shareholders. He was magnetic, powerful. Everyone in the room hung on his every word. But something was wrong. The doors opened, and a man walked in. He was older, maybe 60. His face was hard, his eyes cold. And when Min-hyuk saw him, his entire demeanor changed. His shoulders tensed. His jaw tightened. The warmth Janelle had seen in recent days vanished completely. Chairman Kong, someone whispered. I thought he was in America. Chairman Kong, Min-hyuk's father. After the meeting, Janelle followed Min-hyuk to a private room. She was supposed to bring him documents for the next session. But when she opened the door, she froze. Min-hyuk and his father were standing face to face. You have disappointed me once again, Chairman Kong said. His voice was ice. 3 months in Japan, and what do you have to show for it? A failed merger and a reputation for being soft. The merger fell through because of your contacts, father. They were corrupt. Corrupt? The older man laughed. Business is corrupt, Min-hyuk. That is how it works. But you would not understand that. You have always been weak. Like your mother. Janelle saw Min-hyuk's hands clench into fists. Do not speak about her. Why not? She is gone. Finally. She was always holding you back with her bleeding heart. Volunteering. Donating. Caring about people who did not matter. Chairman Kang shook his head. I thought with her gone, you would finally become the man I need you to be. But you are still her son. I will always be her son. Then you will always be weak. The chairman's eyes slid to Janelle. They traveled over her slowly, taking in her dark skin, her natural hair, her simple dress. And what is this? His lip curled. Your new secretary? An American? A black woman. Janelle lifted her chin. I am Janelle Carter, sir. I did not ask your name. I asked what you are. He turned to Min-hyuk. Is this some kind of joke? You hire this outsider to work in our company. She is qualified. Qualified. The chairman laughed again. For what? Embarrassing us in front of our partners? Do you know what people will say when they see her? I do not care what people say. That has always been your problem. Janelle spoke, her voice steady despite the rage building inside her. Excuse me, Chairman Kong, but I am standing right here. And I would appreciate it if you spoke to me directly instead of about me. The room went silent. Chairman Kang stared at her like she had grown a second head. No one spoke to him like that. No one dared. You have spirit, he said slowly. I will give you that. His eyes narrowed. But spirit without power is useless. And you have no power here, Miss Carter. Remember that. He walked past her and out of the room. Janelle stood there, shaking with anger and humiliation. Janelle. She looked up. Min-hyuk was standing in front of her. And for the first time, she saw something vulnerable in his eyes. I am sorry, he said quietly. My father is. He has never accepted anyone who is different. Why do you let him talk to you like that? Because he is right about one thing. He has power. Power I need if I want to protect the people I care about. Protect them from what? Min-hyuk did not answer. But his eyes held hers, and in that moment, something shifted between them. Something dangerous. Something forbidden. Come with me, he said suddenly. Where? Away from here. I need to breathe. He took her to Namsan Tower. The city sparkled below them like a sea of lights. The air was cold and fresh. They stood at the railing, looking out at Seoul. My mother used to bring me here, Min-hyuk said quietly. When my father was being especially cruel, she would drive us up here and tell me to look at the lights. She said each light was a person, a life, a story, and that no matter how powerful my father thought he was just one light among millions. 3 weeks passed. Everything was different now. Janelle and Min-hyuk were careful at work, professional, distant. But when they were alone, the walls came down. He would drive her home sometimes, late at night. They would talk for hours in his car, parked outside her apartment building. She told him about her childhood in Chicago, about her mother who had worked 3 jobs, about her father who had left when she was 12. He told her about growing up in the shadow of Chairman Kang, about his mother's quiet strength, about the loneliness that had followed him his entire life. They had not touched since that night on Namsan Tower. But something was building between them, something neither of them could ignore. "The rumors are getting worse," Soo-jin said, appearing at Janelle's desk. Janelle looked up. "What rumors?" "That you are sleeping with the CEO." Soo-jin's smile was poison. "People are saying that is the only reason you still have this job. That you spread your legs for him every night." Janelle's face burned, but she kept her voice steady. "People can say what they want. Can they? Because Chairman Kang does not like rumors, Janelle. And when he hears about this..." Soo-jin leaned in close. "He will destroy you. He will make sure you never work in Seoul again. And then where will you go? Get away from my desk. Or what?" Soo-jin laughed. "You have no power here. You are nothing. A toy for the CEO to play with. And when he gets bored of you, and he will, you will be thrown away like garbage." "Let me make something clear," Janelle said, her voice low and dangerous. "I do not care what you think of me. I do not care about your rumors or your threats. I have survived things you cannot imagine. I have built a life from nothing in a country where everyone looked down on me. And I did it alone. Without help. Without connections. Without a rich family to fall back on." She stepped closer to Soo-jin, who backed up involuntarily. "So you can spread your lies. You can try to destroy me. But know this, I will not break. I will not run. And if you come for me, I will fight back harder than you have ever seen." Soo-jin's face went pale. She walked away without another word. That afternoon, Janelle was summoned to Chairman Kang's office. Her heart pounded as she walked through the doors. The chairman sat behind a massive desk, his eyes cold. "Miss Carter, please sit." She sat. "I have been watching you," he said. "You are resilient. I will give you that. Most people I try to intimidate crumble within days. But you push back." "Thank you." It was not a compliment. He leaned forward. "Let me be direct with you. I know what is happening between you and my son." Janelle's blood ran cold. "Nothing is happening. Do not insult my intelligence." His voice hardened. "I have people everywhere. I know about the late nights. The drives home. The way he looks at you." He smiled coldly. "A woman like you, seducing my son. It would be impressive if it were not so predictable. I did not seduce anyone. Save your protests for someone who cares." He pulled out an envelope and slid it across the desk. "Inside this envelope is a check for 50 million won. Take it. Leave Seoul. Never contact my son again. You are trying to pay me off. I am being generous. Take the money and disappear. Or..." His eyes turned deadly. "I will make your life a nightmare. I will destroy your reputation. I have connections in family court, Miss Carter. Connections you cannot fight." Janelle's whole body went cold. "I would use anything as a weapon. That is why I am a chairman and you are a secretary. You have until tomorrow to decide. Take the money and leave. Or stay and watch everything you love be destroyed." That night, Janelle sat in her apartment, watching Mia sleep. The check burned a hole in her pocket. 50 million won. It was more money than she had ever seen. Enough to start over somewhere new. Enough to give Mia a good life. But if she took it, she would never see Min-hyuk again. And she would be running. Again. Like she had run from Chicago. Like she had been running her whole life. Her phone buzzed. "A message from Min-hyuk. I need to see you. Now. It is urgent." Visual. Rooftop meeting, city lights in the background. They met on the rooftop of her apartment building. Min-hyuk's face was pale. His eyes were wild. "My father told me what he did," he said. "The check. The threats. All of it. How do you know? Because I confronted him. I told him if he touched you or your daughter, I would destroy him. Janelle's eyes widened. You threatened your own father? He is not my father. Not really. A father protects his children. He loves them. All Chairman Kang has ever done is control and destroy. Min Hyuk took her hands in his. His grip was warm and strong. Leave with me, Janelle. What? Leave. Tonight. Come with me. I have resources he does not know about. Money he cannot touch. We can go somewhere he cannot reach us. You would give up everything? The company? Your position? Yes. His eyes were intense. You asked me once why I care about you and Mia. I told you it was because of my mother. But that was only part of the truth. He pulled her closer. The real truth is that you are the first person who has ever made me feel alive. When I am with you, I am not Park Min-hyuk, the CEO. I am not my father's son. I am just me. And that terrifies me. Because I have never needed anyone before. But I need you, Janelle. I need you and Mia. I cannot let you give up your life for us. You are my life now. Both of you. Min-hyuk. Please. His voice broke. I have lost everyone I have ever loved. My mother. My innocence. My belief that the world could be good. But when I look at you, I see hope again. I see a future. And I will fight for that future. I will fight for you. Janelle reached up and touched his face. What about Mia? This life you are talking about, it is not stable. She needs stability. I will give her stability. I will give her everything. A home. A family. A father who will never leave. Janelle's heart clenched. You would be her father? If you will let me. His eyes were wet now. I know I am not perfect. I know I come with baggage and enemies and a legacy of pain. But I will spend every day of my life trying to be worthy of you both. I swear it. She thought about everything she had been through. The years of struggling alone. The judgments. The cruelty. The nights she had cried herself to sleep, wondering if she had made the right choices. And then she thought about Min-hyuk. His strength. His loyalty. The way he looked at Mia's picture on her desk with tenderness in his eyes. Okay, she whispered. Okay. Yes. She smiled through her tears. Let us go. Together. They had been on Jeju Island for 3 months when Chairman Kong found them. Janelle was in the garden, watching Mia chase butterflies when the black cars pulled up. Her heart stopped. Mia, she called, keeping her voice calm. Go inside and find Min-hyuk, okay? Tell him we have visitors. Mia ran inside, ponytail bouncing. Janelle stood alone as Chairman Kang stepped out of the lead car. Did you really think you could hide from me? He asked. I did not think we would have to hide forever. I just hoped it would be longer. You have cost me my son, my heir, everything I built. No, you cost yourself your son. The moment you chose power over love. Chairman Kang's face twisted with rage. But before he could respond, Min-hyuk appeared at Janelle's side. And he was not alone. Father, Min-hyuk said coldly. I expected you eventually. What is this? What are you doing? What I should have done years ago. Min-hyuk stepped forward. The board of directors has voted. You have been removed as chairman of Kong Corporation. Chairman Kang's face went white. That is impossible. Is it? You have been embezzling money for years. Bribing officials. Threatening employees. Did you really think I did not know? Min-hyuk's smile was cold. I have been building a case against you for 2 years. And now I have everything I need. You ungrateful. I am not finished. Min-hyuk's voice turned to ice. You threatened the woman I love. You threatened her child. You thought you could destroy them because they had no power. He stepped closer to his father. But you forgot one thing. They have me. And I have more power than you ever knew. The lawyers moved forward with documents. The board members watched with satisfaction. And Chairman Kong, for the first time in his life, looked powerless. This is not over, he hissed. Yes, it is. Min-hyuk turned his back on his father. You are nothing now. Just one light among millions. And I hope you spend the rest of your days remembering that. The garden was filled with flowers. Mia walked down the aisle first, throwing petals and giggling. Then Janelle appeared. She wore a simple white dress. Her natural hair was crowned with white flowers. Her face glowed with happiness. Min-hyuk stood at the altar, tears in his eyes. When she reached him, he took her hands. "You are the most beautiful thing I have ever seen," he whispered. "You are biased. Maybe, but I am also right." "I promise to love you," Min-hyuk said, "through every storm and every calm. I promise to be the partner you deserve, the father Mia needs. I promise to spend my life making you happy." Janelle smiled through her tears. "I promise to love you back," she said, "with everything I have. I promise to be strong when you need strength, soft when you need softness. I promise to build a home with you, a life, a future." They exchanged rings. And when they were pronounced husband and wife, they held each other close as the guests cheered. "Are we a family now?" Mia asked. Min-hyuk lifted her up into his arms. "We have always been a family, little one. Now it is just official." Mia grinned. "Does this mean I can call you Daddy?" Min-hyuk's eyes filled with tears. "You can call me whatever you want. Daddy it is." Mia hugged him tight. Janelle watched them, her heart full to bursting. This was what she had always wanted. Not just survival, but life. Life had settled into a beautiful rhythm. Mia was thriving in school. The company was flourishing under Min-hyuk's leadership. And Janelle had started her own consulting firm, helping other single mothers find jobs and build careers. But today, Janelle sat in a doctor's office, holding an envelope. She had felt sick for weeks. Tired. Emotional. She had come here expecting a simple diagnosis. She had not expected this. The door opened and Min-hyuk walked in. "I got your message," he said, concern on his face. "What is wrong? Are you sick?" Janelle looked up at him. Tears streamed down her face. "I am not sick." "Then what?" She handed him the paper from the envelope. He read it. His face went pale. Then slowly, so slowly, a smile spread across his face. The biggest smile she had ever seen. "Twins," he whispered. "We are having twins?" Janelle nodded, laughing and crying at the same time. "Twin boys." "I love you," he said. "I love you more than anything in this world." "I love you too." They held each other in that doctor's office, two people who had found their way through darkness into light. The single secretary mom everyone had mocked. The cold CO no one thought could love. Together. Forever. This story carries a powerful lesson: never let anyone define your worth. Janelle faced mockery, discrimination, and threats. She was a single mother in a foreign country, fighting battles that seemed impossible to win. But she never gave up. She never let the cruelty of others break her spirit. If you were in Janelle's position and Chairman Kong offered you 50 million won to leave and never look back, what would you have done? Would you have taken the money for a fresh start? Or would you have stayed and fought for love? Drop your answer in the comments below. I want to know what you would do. If this story touched your heart, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. We have more powerful stories coming, and you do not want to miss them. Share this with someone who needs to hear that their worth is not determined by what others think. And remember, you're stronger than you know. See you in the next video.